Welcome back. You know what that song means. This is Round 2 Wrestling, and I am Slim the Kid. Thank you for tuning into this podcast on the 14th of June, 2022. A lot happened this past week and weekend in the world of professional wrestling. We've had a lot of news. We've had some rumors pop up, and we've had a ton of results because there were 2 pay-per-views that took place this weekend. We will give you those results and who won and who lost, plus a brand new Did You Know, chock full of brand new facts that you may or may not have known. So sit tight and let's jump right into Round 2 Wrestling by dipping our toes into the rumor mill. PW Insider reports Edge will be a babyface going forward. This is nothing really all that new. Edge has bounced back and forth between being a heel and a babyface before, but I guess the writers and the fans are tired of the heel attitude and are wanting to see a nicer Edge. Apollo Crews and Commander Aziz have been moved to NXT per PW Insider. Lucha Libre Online reports Rush is not under contract with AEW and is a per-appearance wrestler. That means he is not an official member of the AEW roster and will only appear when it is needed or asked of him, or he is paid to do so. He is not contractually obligated to appear on AEW programming at all. According to Fightful, Adam Cole has had a series of injuries longer than people realize. This includes a labrum injury that he is currently suffering from that will keep him sidelined and out of action until the June pay-per-view at the end of the month, sponsored by AEW and New Japan Pro Wrestling, called Forbidden Door. Wrestling Observer Newsletter says talk of Cena versus Theory may happen at SummerSlam. WWE is desperate to get John Cena back on TV, but John Cena is not as desperate as WWE is. He's taking his time, he's playing his cards well, and he's not going to jump into anything prematurely without at least seeing the direction that this may or may not go. Once again, this was one of the top draws WWE had in the early to mid 2000s and has only been within the last 5 years or so that they and Cena have moved away from the whole, rapper, wrestler gimmick thing and have cemented themselves with the whole Roman Reigns and the head of the table, blah, blah, blah. It'll be interesting to see if Cena plays ball and if WWE can convince him to come back. Will it be for one match? Will it be for a month? Will he come back part-time, full-time? Who knows? Like we like to say here on Round 2 Wrestling, only time will tell. Andrade El Idolo, Rey Fenix, and Penta Oscuro are under contract with AAA Mexico and are off of the AEW/New Japan Pro Wrestling June pay-per-view Forbidden Door. Under contract with AAA, these wrestlers are not allowed to work with New Japan Pro Wrestling. It's not that they can't work with AEW because most of these guys are under contract with AEW. It's the simple fact that AAA Mexico does not want its wrestlers mixing with New Japan Pro Wrestling. Why? I could not really find out, but this is also in our rumor mill, so this may or may not be true. Stay tuned to AEW Dynamite and Rampage to see what, if anything, develops with these 3 wrestlers in particular. Alright, nothing else to discuss in the rumor mill, so let's jump right into the news circulating in the world of professional wrestling. WrestleVotes reports WWE unified its WWE and Universal titles to let Roman Reigns appear on Raw and SmackDown more regularly. This has not happened, and Reigns' last match took place May 22nd at a house show. This was almost a month ago. It is no secret that they really wanted Roman Reigns to bleed over onto SmackDown at least a little bit. But the whole fighting champion moniker has kind of gone out the window lately. Roman Reigns has not been on TV regularly since WrestleMania, and really hasn't had a match since May. This leads me to believe that maybe maybe Reigns isn't the guy that they need to build their fan base off of. However, they don't have too many options at this point in time. But it's still baffling to see a champion not at least appear on TV once in a while and talk. I can understand maybe withholding matches every once in a while, or maybe not giving title shots out, but a fighting champion is a fighting champion, and it's baffling to see the direction that WWE and Roman Reigns has gone during this whole unification of the titles bit. ESPN's Mark Raimondi notes Florida Highway Patrol pulled over Jeff Hardy, who was swerving and running off the highway. Hardy appeared to be in a stupor and confused, and Hardy was given a PBT, or personal breathalyzer test, and was found to be three times over the legal limit. AEW and Warner Bros. Media has asked to stop the promotion of Hardy until he either reaches out and gets the help that he needs, or AEW cuts ties with Hardy altogether. I am not surprised that this has happened. Jeff Hardy has a history of drug abuse and alcohol abuse and trouble with the law. However, I guess this happened a lot sooner and quicker than I thought. I thought that Jeff Hardy and the Hardy brothers in particular were getting a fairly good push, and the fans were most definitely behind these two. Jeff seemed to be responding well, had several great matches, was in the Owen Hart Cup tournament, and I think many people truly believe that the worst was behind him. However, it looks like Jeff needs help once again. We here at Round 2 Wrestling hope that Jeff reaches out to someone or somebody and gets the help that he so desperately needs, because he is entertaining and could be a good wrestler if he can kick his demons in the past. Hiroshi Tanahashi advances to the finals of the AEW Interim World Championship Eliminator Series and will appear at the Forbidden Door pay-per-view to face Jon Moxley to determine who will be the interim AEW World Champion, while current AEW World Champion CM Punk undergoes surgery and heals from an injury he suffered at the last pay-per-view. Alright, that's it. No more news, so we will jump right into our very large results section of Round 2 Wrestling. Never Openweight 6-man Tag Team Champions Evil, Sho, and Yujiro Takahashi defeated Zack Sabre Jr., El Desperado, and Yoshinobu Kane Maru. I am sorry if I slaughtered that name, to retain said titles. The United Empire defeated Bad Luck Fale and Chase Owens to win the IWGP Heavyweight Tag Team titles. KOPW Provisional Champion Shingo Takagi defeated Taichi to retain the KOPW Provisional Championship. Carl Anderson defeated Tama Tonga to win the Never Openweight Championship. Will Ospreay defeated Sanada for the vacant IWGP US Heavyweight Championship. Jay White defeated Okada to win the IWGP World Heavyweight Championship. Pretty Empowered defeated the Hex to win the NWA Women's Tag Team titles. Homicide defeated PJ Hawks to retain the NWA Junior Heavyweight Championship. Homicide had another match in the same pay-per-view and defeated Colby Corino, also to retain his NWA Junior Heavyweight Championship. Jax Dane defeated Chris Adonis to retain the NWA National Heavyweight Championship. Tyrus defeated Matthew Mims to retain the NWA World Television title. The Commonwealth Connection defeated La Rebellion to win the NWA World Tag Team Championship. Camille defeated Kylin King to retain the NWA Women's World Championship. Trevor Murdoch defeated Nick Aldis, Thomas Latimer, and Samuel Shaw to win the NWA World Heavyweight Championship. Matt Cardona had to relinquish the NWA World Heavyweight Championship before this match due to an injury. Look for Cardona to challenge for the championship once again once he has recovered from his bicep surgery. A ton of results happened this past weekend, again, because there were 2 pay-per-views that took place. There's another pay-per-view taking place this weekend. Impact Slammiversary will take place. Be sure to tune in to either Fight TV or Bleacher Report to buy said pay-per-view. All right, we will conclude Round 2 Wrestling with our Did You Know facts. Did you know our little bits of information and facts from the world of professional wrestling that you may or may not have known? Did you know WWF's first Royal Rumble was held October 4th, 1987 at Kiel Auditorium in St. Louis, Missouri? Featuring 12 wrestlers, one-man gang ended up the winner. Did you know Christian Cage was in the main event in WWE, Impact, and AEW in 2021? He certainly had a very busy year 1 year ago. Did you know in 1986, Big John Studd had his own line of multivitamins? Did you know a top WCW wrestler for 7 years, Hollywood Hulk Hogan, only competed in WCW's largest pay-per-view, Starrcade, 3 times and had a losing record of 1-2? Did you know WWE's Cody Rhodes and AEW's Frankie Kazarian have their own line of cigars called American Rebel Cigars? Did you know WWE's Veer Mahan is a former Major League Baseball pitcher who played for the Pittsburgh Pirates? Did you know WrestleMania 3 was not the first WWF event at the Pontiac Silverdome in Pontiac, Michigan? The first event happened July 19th, 1986. The main event was WWF champion Hulk Hogan versus Don Morocco in front of 22,000 fans. Did you know Bob Backlund's second and last WWF title reign in 1994 only lasted 3 days? He, however, successfully defended the title once before dropping it to Diesel at Madison Square Garden. Did you know George Washington Kendall was a wrestler/promoter who competed under the name George Kennedy? He would go on to own the NHL's Montreal Canadiens from 1910 until his death in 1921. Did you know WWF Magazine was originally named WWF Victory? This lasted only 3 issues before changing officially to WWF Magazine. Its last printed issue was in 2014. All right, that concludes this episode of Round 2 Wrestling. I am Slim the Kid, and I personally want to thank you for tuning in to this episode. I also want to take the time to thank Ultimate Championship Wrestling in Saginaw, Michigan, for letting me back into the wrestling game and letting me cut my teeth as a referee once again. For those of you in the Bay or Saginaw area, be sure to check out our live pay-per-view this Saturday entitled Game On at the AEW Arena in Saginaw, Michigan. All right, once again, I am Slim the Kid. Thank you for tuning in to Round 2 Wrestling, and I hope that you tune in next week for a brand new episode. Round 2 Wrestling is brought to you by Slim the Kid and Spreaker.com.